From ad creative tips to industry news to how I got great results for some of our clients, I've been sharing quite a lot recently on Twitter. And if you don't yet know who I am, my name is Justin. I'm the founder at pitadvertising.com, an e-commerce marketing agency specializing in elevating thriving brands by simplifying e-commerce growth. And in this video, what I want to do is share with you a compilation of some of my favorite tweets lately and kind of break those down to you. So think of it as a compilation videos of some of my recent learnings, and I want to share those with you on YouTube. So this first one right here, I kind of like because it's a question I often get, which is how do you advertise to a product-aware audience, right? Because when you have a product-aware audience, what ends up happening is that this audience usually already knows about the product you're selling, or they've seen so many similar products in the past. A lot of people simply tell you, like, just call out pricing. So do you literally just put a picture of your product on a white background, say like, hey, buy now for 25 bucks and that's it? You could. I mean, you could. Hey, nothing wrong with that, but it probably isn't the most kind of enticing ad for one of your buys, which is where this style of ad comes in. So that was one of the anime clothing brands that we've worked with in the past. And here's what I said right here. I'm like, you don't need to simply call it the pricing. Join the audience, be one of them, and integrate your product in the content they'd watched regularly. So this is an example of an ad we've made, again, for an anime clothing brand. It's basically like an anime fan edit that introduces the product that they're selling. Because again, this is the type of content their audience would be watching already. They probably watch anime fan edits. And that one, it's like an aesthetically pleasing way of making an ad, right? It doesn't seem like an ad that much. We're talking about a product, again, right of the way at the end. It's seamlessly integrated in the video and then transitions into like the brand's name. Now, a tip I have for you, copywriting tip, give word exclusions to ChatGPT. So for some reason, ChatGPT loves to use words like unveil, embrace, unearth, and so on when writing ad copy or scripts. And basically what I say right here is look around the space, you'll note a lot of ads using these words. And some guy commented and said like unleash, delve into, unlocking the power of. So you get the gist of it. I now do, whenever I ask ChatGPT for either help when writing copy or hooks for our ads, I'll tell it, do not use the following list of words in your output. And I'll give it a list of roughly 10 to 20 words that are to be excluded from its vocabulary. Because again, it just seems like it's been reusing these words over and over again. No matter the awareness level you have, like unearth as an example, unearth. Do we commonly use that word in our vocabulary? I mean, I personally don't. So basically this is why we now set these word exclusions on ChatGPT. Now this other one, which I think is a great lesson in this space right now. It's back in the day, marketing was all about smoke and mirrors. Just get the sale, people were telling you, right? Now it's more about crafting experiences, giving people value, making connections, helping them level up. Marketing's had a glow up, empowerment over fooling people. So I mean two things here. If you go back a few years, right? If you go back to like the door-to-door or the kind of cold calling or the newspaper ad time, it was really just like, hey, here's my pitch, buy. Convincing right here. It's more about like just showing you everything I need to get you to say yes. That was it. Now, so the market is getting much more sophisticated as a whole. Some examples of that is like Facebook ads. Again, back then, or I watched recently this video by Ty Lopez. He said something along the lines of, I was part of the beta. I think he had thrown a few $1,000s on an ad. He went to dinner, came back, he had made like a 4x return in like 3 hours. And he was like, that was the case over and over again. Apparently Ty claims he's made like over $1 billion from Facebook ads. So that is someone who was doing it when digital ads were in their prime and you would just like show anything people would buy. Where now people are getting more sophisticated, so you actually have to find real ways to convince them, to create these experiences, to create a cohesive funnel, to meet them where they're at with desires, awareness levels, and so on and so forth. So that's where essentially like having a thorough research process before making an ad comes in. I've posted a few videos on the channel about that exact topic. And hey, if you're looking for a paid ads partner to run your ads and take out this research process from your hands, click the link down below and book in a call to speak with our team. This other one I thought was quite interesting. It did okay. Also on Twitter, it was like 2019 Facebook, anything works. 2020 to 2021, top moth buff segmentation, which I, as a marketer, I mean, I've lived through that era, which is pretty much like you have to have 3 campaigns. One is your top of funnel, one's your middle of funnel, one's your bottom of funnel. You really have to segment the audience to create kind of this cohesive experience amongst your clients. And then 2022 onwards, it's like creatives. That's it. It's the only thing that matters. So space is ruthless. If you do not adapt every single year, you'll have to reinvent your techniques. So what I say here is the only thing that never changes is marketing fundamentals. And I strongly believe that. It's, again, these principles of market awareness, of market sophistication, of desires, of building out a persona, of psychology-based principles won't change no matter the medium. And this is how you can thrive no matter the changes that come from the ad platforms. There's always going to be new ways to target people. It's always going to be new ways to build your campaigns. There's probably going to be new ad platforms in the future, but the way you build the ads from a backbone, would it be a radio ad, would it be again a video ad, a static ad, you build it with the same marketing fundamentals. I've found tremendous value in learning them from this book called Breakthrough Advertising. Another quick tip, which came from a case study that I recently posted on the channel, which is change your Google ad keywords at least once a quarter. So we tap at the agency into seasonality with our brands. I always tell brands, look, you won't see a consistent uptrend in revenue the entire year. You'll see peaks, right? You'll see the year is probably going to start flat or maybe even go down at the start of the year for a lot of brands. Then it peaks up around, February or March, and it goes back down. Peaks up again at the start of the summer, goes back down again. Peaks up at the end of the summer, goes back down. Peaks up at Q4. It's a bunch of peaks. Tap into those peaks. One of the ways that we do that is with Google ad keywords. Change the seasonality of your keywords. Look into if there's specific keywords that trend at specific moments in the year and tap into those, which is what we did for this client, where we noticed that pre-Halloween had a big bump in sales, which is why we adapted their product related keywords. And if I basically make this a little bigger on my side, which you should hopefully see on yours, cost essentially right here was 3,600 pounds in ad spend. We brought them back 75,000 pounds back. So it was quite a successful search keyword campaign on Google. Now, advertising for fashion brands can really be hard sometimes because those are the brands that come in with problem solution, right? It's not like they're fixing a major problem. It's not like you're out of clothes if you don't buy their clothes. You can buy clothes anywhere. So the best way to do it is to give your products a tone. And that's what I say right here, and seamlessly integrate them into a customer's day-to-day. You can do that by being playful, luxurious, serious. In other words, branding and tonality is what really sells a product. So I've had this student of mine in our mentorship program that we have at paidadvertising.com called Ad Engine. He asked me a question essentially at some point about one of the fashion brands he was working ads for. Not really getting good results, but that brand so happened to be selling coffee. And I was like, why don't you, instead of selling random caps and t-shirts and hoodies to just the average Joe, why don't you define yourself as an apparel brand for coffee lovers? Brand a website that way, do organic content that way, make ads that way, sell clothing to a specific subset of the market. That's a great way to do it. It's the same reason why big brands and I've made a video about that recently, why Cuts, True Classics, and the Built, so basically 3 big brands that are selling t-shirts, they all kind of target someone slightly different as a demographic, which again, that shows in their ads, that shows in the way they have their website, that shows in everything that they do, in their entire marketing structure. And that's what I say right here, give your products a tonality. It's one of our clients right here that we made a ad for them, like a UGC ad, which for us, it's the playful, kind of average, quirky American woman. That's all. And that's what we're trying to show in our ads. And I think that was quite a success with it. And that's what we are attracting so far with an ad like this one. Now, take the habit of sharing news, training, or inspiration to your team on a weekly basis. So I make it a habit to share any nice ad, strategy, or tool I come across. My goal is to consistently generate $1 million in client net profit monthly. So our team has to level up. I share that because I think a lot of leaders expect their team members, expect their agencies or media buyers or whatever to kind of self-teach themselves a lot of this stuff, which we are in an online space where education has kind of taken a sidestep. A lot of people, it's they learn on the job and there's a lot less kind of diplomas involved, but that also makes it so a lot of these people by default won't really learn new stuff if you don't tell them to learn new stuff. And I make it a habit to share any 6 strategy or ad I come across or tool or whatever it is with my team and clients so that they also kind of are quote unquote forced to step up. They're, again, in big bold quotes, forced to level up in terms of skill set. And I like it when clients do the same. We have a handful of clients that share with us inspiration. Hey, I've seen this ad from a competitor that I like. Hey, I've seen this new trend or this new tool that is now in my industry. What do you think about it? I love it because we are both forced to level up together and learn within this partnership. Now here I was walking and came across this new building being built close to ours. Company says established since 1964. I looked them up. They own 15,000 doors in my city, with the vast majority having built in the last 20 or so years. Reminder, building a business takes time. I've seen that many, many times over, especially within construction companies. You look at them, a whole lot of them have been built years ago. And you see that with a lot of the big businesses of this world today. Look at the top, the Fortune 500. how many of them were built within the last like 5 to 10 years? A lot of them weren't. A lot of them took a lot longer than that before making it into that top, 500 businesses. And if you look at a lot of these local businesses, it's the same thing. Dentists, or doctors, accountants, lawyers, you can see these practices that have been in the family for decades. And those are the ones that actually have a lot of success. And I've seen that with that specific company. It was a company passed down from a father to a son when I did my research. And when looking this up, most of their 15,000 doors, again, were built in the last 20 years. That is a company that is edging the 60-year mark. And most of it was built in the last basically third of their history, which means the 2/3 of their history, they had nowhere near close to the same amount of wealth that they now have today. So just a reminder for I think all of us online entrepreneurs that building something great takes time. It doesn't happen in a day, it doesn't happen in a year, it doesn't happen in 2 years. It takes many years before really building something substantial that, again, is as big as owning 15,000 doors in this example. And I'm going to wrap this up with this last one, which although scrappy UGC works best, usually, right? Usually, here's a more professional one we made last year for one of our clients. Going for a more polished look can help when targeting businesses and corporate events, like done right here. And that is something that I think we haven't seen as much in this space. It's like I see a lot of these, businesses and whatnot sometimes compromising on the brand image by making some type of weird and just like bad quality UGC just because they're like, oh, it looks legit. It looks like a creator actually made it. That one, I put that in quotes, professional, because again, it's not like a 4K camera or anything, but just the vibe with it was a little bit more curated than I guess your average kind of scrappy UGC. And I say that because we sometimes run B2B ads for some of our e-commerce clients, especially some that work with more like corporate brands like this one, which ended up working with like some corporate gifting angle. And that is, I think, one of the most popular reasons as to why we run B2B ads. It's like corporate gifting is a big one, especially in Q4. So with that said, it could be good for you sometimes to either try this more kind of polished look or something that we've also done, which I don't have the ad on right now, but for one of our underwear clients, we had the pleasure of working with a creator that had like an actual 4K Sony camera and shot like amazingly crisp quality UGC, which ended up becoming one of our best performer on this account. So once again, if you do want to work with the paid ads and content partner, then click the link down below and book in a call to speak with my team at paidadvertising.com. And with that said, check out other videos on the channel for some more useful e-commerce marketing tips, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.